When I think of leadership, I think of Vanessa Simpson. She's an incredible healer, a transformational agent, a spiritual coach, and she's running incredible retreats and really on the cutting edge of what it means to be a new paradigm leader. It's so good to have you here with me today, Vanessa.
Thank you, Schamet. It is always an honor to be meeting in this sacred space with you. Yes, just always grateful for every opportunity to share light into this world through the voice that I have, through the voice that we all have. And no, don't ask me to sing.
Aw. So, the first question I have for you today in regards to leadership is, what does leadership mean to you?
And if it's all right, I would like to just take a breath with every question that you ask for all of us to be open to receiving. Awesome. I really feel that leadership is congruency. It is your most authentic self. It's showing up as you are, who you truly are. I feel that what's been so misleading in the workplaces with leadership, corporate, even smaller businesses, just when we get into these roles of leadership, it's almost like we take on this archetype of what we're supposed to be, how we're supposed to show up, and that might not be authentically who you are in that moment, and that's not that, like, if you're having a hard day, you're just like constantly bawling your eyes out and you're shaking up your employees. Perhaps it's just where you do zip up a little bit and like tap into your strength and that resiliency of being a leader. But you can share, I am going through this hard time right now. Like, you don't have to show up in a way that's not true to who you are. And I feel that the more leaders that can show up authentically, that's what's really going to just awaken more leaders, which is what we want on this planet. So that's a big thing for me, I feel, is just that congruency, like really being authentic.
Yeah, I hear you. And do you feel that you're a leader?
I feel that I am becoming more of who I truly am more and more each day. This client that we just signed on, I had her come and pick up some herbal medicine that she's getting from us as a part of like working with us. She came over to my house, and when she came in, my daughter's there, my partner's there. I offered her some curry. I just made this awesome, bowl of awesome soup. It was so amazing. And I'm like, do you have some time? Like, can I offer you some soup? I gave her some to take home to her partner. And she was just like, wow, like, this is just so cool. And I felt like when she left, I came back to my partner. I'm like, you know what I just love? I love that, here I am, in this more authoritative leadership role with her, that I'm going to be coaching her and guiding her, yet I welcome her into my house, meet my family, offer her some warming soup, and send her on her way. It was really just an authentic moment. And so I do feel that more and more I am more willing to just show up as I am and not think that I need to be more than that or less than that. I'm just saying how I feel, and that kind of can piss some people off, and just being okay with that. Like, I have had to let the people pleaser archetype and mask really die when really stepping into my most authentic self that says, I need to be something that I'm not, those masks that we wear. And that's really when this leadership, this leader, in whatever way that looks for you, whether it is running a business or running a family, you know, it's or running a state, wherever you lie within the or a city, you know, wherever you lie in that form of leadership. I do feel that more and more every day I'm waking up to that as I show up with more courage.
It's beautiful. I love that you talk about how leadership means your authentic self and that you're becoming more and more of a leader every day as you awaken to your authentic self. That's really beautiful. And what does old paradigm leadership mean to you?
I feel that old paradigm, taking a breath, that was what I said I was going to do. That's another thing about leadership is doing what you say you're going to do, right? And if you don't do that thing, then at least acknowledge that you didn't do it, like I didn't do it on that last question. But you get into this flow state, right? But that was the intent. So deep breath in through the heart and out. Old paradigm leadership is this controlling, I am somehow more than you or above you in some way. How I know that is because, I mean, you can see just like looking out into society, how it feels when you are working with leadership, how it feels like it's not eye to eye. It feels like, it's, meteor chest, or maybe even lower than that, depending upon how it may feel. And so, well, something that's so healing is someone that's done incredible work in the world, and yet they're the most they're human. It's like for some reason we get into our heads this we put people on pedestals, people that have done a lot, whether it's education, business, they've worked their way up somehow in some way. And so other people then put these people on like pedestals, right? And I feel like part of that like old paradigm that's part of that. It's not just the leader that's necessarily in this within this paradigm, it's also the people that are looking at the leader. Like all of that is changing to like I'm human too. It's also a lot of pressure to like put on this facade that you're perfect all the time or that you always have it all together. And I'm just so glad that that's going away. I also feel like part of the old paradigm of leadership is this like work, 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 dot, 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 work, work. Just continuing to like work towards goals and like keep striving. And like that's really heavily America, right? That is just this like ongoing, in different parts of the world, this ongoing like trekking yourself up the mountain only to find out that you get to the top of the mountain and you still have more to go. Like there's this ever ongoing pursuit. And that's really like that wound is within the ego, that is this constant striving for something, having desires. You get to that one goal and all of a sudden it's not enough and you're on to the next. And as we wake up to our most authentic self, we realize that where you are right now is where you're meant to be, and you can be fulfilled and feel on purpose right now, like really acknowledging your worth and your value and who you truly are right now, outside of all that you might be doing in the world. That's just an expression, right? But you can feel enough just as you are right now. And I feel that from that place, we're just going to, as leaders and people that look up to leaders, it's just an example of like really being fulfilled, because you're not waiting for the destination to feel happy or fulfilled or peaceful, to feel love. You are having that right now along the journey. That's what it means to truly live a balanced life, right? We're talking, this work life balance, right? Where you have to go to work and then you like hopefully have some energy for your life left. Really living a balanced life is living an authentic life, that you are really just loving yourself and the people around you and the experiences that you're having along the way.
Yeah, I love that. Being a human being instead of a human doer. We've talked about that in the past. And I love that so much. It's such a great, yeah. And that whole power over instead of power with energy as well. Love that
Mhm,
answer. Thank you so much. I love that, how you
mhm.
deepened into it too. And what does feminine leadership mean to you?
Well, just as we've been already describing breath, walk the talk. So, feminine leadership is it is this collaboration energy. Like it is so much more enjoyable to walk up the mountain with the people that you love and stop and smell the roses along the way. It really took me having a baby to find that out because I had my dad's workhorse in me, like just go, go, go till you can't, and then keep going, and I was just on this like trajectory of really burning myself out with my purpose in the world. And I, of course, did not want that. My soul definitely did not want that. So boom, like here's a baby to slow you down. Nothing like slowing you down like then popping a baby out of your vagina. And so so that's what that was my wake up call. And I feel like this is really the goddess coming through, right? Like it's just that slowing down and smelling the roses, like feminine leadership is it really is this enjoying the process and allowing what you're going after to also come to you. It's like this magnetization. You're magnifying. It's like following that saying that what you want wants you. That piece within manifestation, that you are not just creating, you are co-creating with the most powerful energy of the universe, the same energy that created you and me. Why would you not want to partner with that energy? So that's really like that's feminine leadership. I feel like, because when I feel into leadership, it's very masculine, right? But then you tie feminine to it, it's like now we have this like balance where we can still strive and take consistent action and perseverance and give shape to creation, that being feminine energy, but also receive from that feminine energy, which is all about receiving. So it's really that balance, like congruency between those two energies to create just such beautiful freaking magic in the world and enjoy the pleasure of it all. you know
Beautiful answer. I love that so much. And what do you think of when you think of power over and power in itself? I mean, there's so much of that in the world today. We have lots of examples.
So speaking energetically, when we're talking about power over, it's when the masculine energy gets a hold of this like this creative energy and gives it shape, meaning it puts it into a certain direction. And power itself is this beautiful creative energy that has its own intelligence that is going to create no matter what. And then this masculine comes in and helps give shape to that creative energy. And so power over doesn't necessarily need to be a bad thing. It's it depends on what the intention is. And so if the intention is like to put myself above everyone else, then there's a lot of ego involved. This is when like you're kind of like separating your will from the will of what I believe God and the earth is. And so and that, people can obviously do, but why not align yourself with what the intent of this, like the power of this energy, so that you can keep like stay connected to it and have an abundance of it to heal yourself and bring, create in this planet and really help people. And so power over is like taking this energy and, maybe it's like using your own will to do something, or whether that's you're trying to put power over someone or something, like animals too, or plants. Whereas power itself is just something we can all tap into, that we all have within us, and we can direct it however we want to. And it really comes down to your intention. Your intention really matters. And that's what the conscious awakening is so, like, what's so beautiful about it is we are having more conscious awareness of why we're showing up the way that we are, like what our intention is with the food that we're eating, the cleaning products that we have, the people that we're around, the places that we work, or the businesses we're creating. Your intention really matters to really stay connected to the highest vibration, the highest power possible. And then you just get to do so much more in the world. So, yeah.
I love that. Beautiful. Yeah. Intentionality is everything, isn't it? It really is. Like, I teach about that a lot. It's like, well, what is your intention? And our words are like spells, the things
Mhm.
that we say. And yeah, really powerful. So, and what does awaken the new feminine paradigm mean to you?
Mhm. Awaken the new feminine paradigm to me is just being a part of the process of evolution. Like it's just something that's happening, and you can choose to resist it or just go with it. And that's why I find that so beautiful, because feminine is all about just going with it. It's like this stream that's coming in, and you can choose to like run up that stream or try to get out of the water or be a boulder, but like at the end of the day, the stream is happening, the shift is happening, and you can choose to go with it and receive the many blessings and lessons that come with that, or cause yourself, your own grief and your own suffering by trying to run against it and trying to hang on to what was. Change is the only constant. It's something that is, I mean, not the only, but that was a quote by Wayne Dyer, but I'm learning to find out that it's not the only constant, right? There is also a constant that is not changing. And that's what we would call truth, is something that never changes, is also a quote that Wayne Dyer shares as well from one of his teachers. So that's what I feel, the awakening, the new feminine leadership paradigm, like it's just being a part of the process, choosing to be conscious right now and being a part of what's going on in your heart, like not necessarily within your mind. We've done enough of that. Like we have to find that synchronization, that coherence between the mind and the heart, like drop our awareness into what it feels like is going on, not just what we think is happening.
Mm.
You can get lost
I,
in that.
I love that so much. I think that's probably my favorite answer so far for that question. And I'm having this moment of like, this is why I've got Vanessa on this summit, because that is so true, isn't it? It's like, it's happening. We all know it's happening. You're either going to go with the flow and be a human being, or you're going to fight up against the current and make your life really difficult. I 100% agree with you. That is so true. I love that.
I love that. You love that. I do too.
I love it. It's like that was a pearl. That was a definite pearl, a beautiful pearl. And yeah, oh, that just got me all excited. Um, and what are the top three leaders that really resonate with you and that have inspired you?
Well, I've been quoting him a lot here in a lot of our yes. So Wayne Dyer has inspired me since I was like 18 years old and I started my spiritual journey. I dove into his work and his books and like, I mean, I really do feel like he's a spiritual father to me. I feel so connected to him and I feel so inspired by him to do like be a similar influence as he was with my own, unique flair, Vanessa flair. But like, I love how authentic, like just totally raw and real this man was all the time in all of his talks. Like, he's just, he owned his value and like like who he is. And yet he is just that human to human person. Like, I am no different than you. Like, he did not hold like, he owned his journey. So if that was like the only thing that may have felt like not necessarily like he was above you, but like he has been doing the work his whole entire life and deserves to be sharing it with the world in the way that he did. And so that was, the only, like, there's nothing wrong with just because you own your value does not mean that it needs to like put other people down or
Yeah.
make them less than you. And so I feel like he was just a really beautiful example of like that to me, that I can own my value to the world and yet like not be in fear of how that's going to make people feel. It's kind of like keeping your light to yourself and not sharing it with the world because of fear of how that might make other people feel. And so I love that, and just the influence that he had in really standing behind God and spirituality, and just being a spiritual teacher for the entire planet. I mean, I honor that, because I feel like spirituality can bring up a lot of controversy topics, and he just was really congruent with his word, and I honor that. The other person would be, I just had a dream with him last night. We were having dinner together, uh, Dr. Joe Dispenza. He is just another mastermind of this day and age of just bringing the science to spirituality, man. Like, that man is just like, bless his soul. What he has, the largest, the largest, what's the word I'm looking for? Amount of information and feedback on meditation and the effects that it has on the mind and body, like the amount of brain scans and how it like how meditation I mean, like the amount of information that he has gathered over the years on meditation is just freaking incredible. So his retreats are, they could be anywhere from 3 day to 7 day immersive retreats with like up to 1,500 people, and people are healing from cancer. They're walking out of their wheelchairs. They're people that are blind are being able to see again. I mean, people with super deep trauma being able to break free from this depression. I mean, he is teaching like the scientific research on why it's like bridging that gap. He's one of those people that's like really bridging people that like kind of need that science to back up the spirituality. Like, he's one of those people and has dedicated his life to this work. I mean, he was paralyzed at one point in time, and through meditation and connecting with source energy, he was able to heal himself and be able to walk again. And so his story is immaculate. I mean, I just complete complete honor. Yes. So Dr. Joe Dispenza is another one. Another beautiful inspiration. I want to say, just have to. I feel like I have to say my mom, because
Aw.
she the amount of pain that that woman has endured. tomatoes. And to still be such a kind yet edgy, she like the feedback that people give me about her is like she is so her authentic self all of the time. Like she does not give an F about like what she says, how she says it, like it, she is just like true to herself. And she's like, part of it is the age that she is, you just kind of stop giving a shit. And the other aspect is like, it's just who she is. She's always been that rainbow sheep. And she's inspired that in me. And like, she let me get my lip pierced in 7th grade. Like, even though my parents were like, oh my God, like, let's not do that. They let me they let me, color my hair in all these crazy colors and just help me find myself. And that was one of the biggest gifts that inspired me for what I want to do for my daughter, is just to give her opportunities to really find herself. I don't want to tell her who she is as much as I want her to be a little energy healer, I just put my stuff aside and give her the foundation and everything that she needs to become the most authentic version of her, and what that looks like for her and her soul's evolution. And so my mom really is my mom and my dad really are just the amount of like pain and suffering that they had to go through, and still just like you just keep going, and you do the best that you can. And that's ultimately like what it is. You do just figure it out and you keep going. So I'm grateful for both of them. They're both just, I am so honored that I had such incredible parents. Were they perfect parents? No, but they were perfect for me and what I needed.
Oh, that's beautiful, Vanessa. I love that. And I had the joy of meeting your mom on the last retreat in Arizona, and I can definitely say that she's an incredible, incredible, authentic, beautiful soul. So I'm like, I agree. She's
I concur.
wonderful,
Yes.
absolute gem. And the relationship and the bond that the two of you share is so inspiring. And yeah, talk about being a inspiration for me to witness that
Mm.
kind of beautiful mother-daughter relationship. I think she's done an incredible job with you. You're such an incredible human being. I think you would be an incredible human being regardless of the mom and dad you had, though, because you just have such a beautiful soul. However, your mom also is such an incredible leader in her authenticity. Yeah. I love that answer so much.
I feel like she'll just, with a lot of things, just like F it, F it, just go, just do it.
Yeah.
I feel like she's just kind of, she's gonna be that like nurturing, but like just just do it. I just feel that like
Yeah.
from her, just like just go after it. And I when it comes to leadership, I feel that, as we were talking prior to this, that there isn't, I've always felt this leader inside of me. And I don't necessarily know if everyone feels that way. I feel like some people feel really passionate about like being a supporter for a mission, not necessarily creating a mission itself. But I feel that there is this teacher though, and that can be a form of leadership inside all of us. And whether you're on like, the edge of accepting that or stepping into that, you really just throw yourself into it. And like after coming out of the cocoon of motherhood and just being out of work for a while and like having to refine myself yet again, you just start doing it. There isn't like waiting for this perfect moment, this perfect thing. Like you just got to start somewhere. And I feel like perfection is something that stops a lot of leaders and ready to be leaders, like leaders that are here to be, I don't want to say want to be, but you know, that are here to be leaders, but it's like that perfectionist kind of sensation inside can really stop so many people. I know it did for me, and it still does sometimes, and having to really let go of that and just dive in, you know. So I just wanted to share that.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that answer. It's so good. And Wayne Dwyer, by the way, I met him. Um, and he's so nice and so authentic. And I gave him one of my own baby Child of the Universe books. And he was so grateful and so appreciative. And then he looked at me with laser beam eyes. I'll never forget it. It was a moment where he was talking about how he always knew that he would become an author and that he would become a public speaker, that he just had this feeling inside. And it wasn't one of arrogance or entitlement or anything superior. It just was like the next thing. Like he just had this knowing. And as the laser beam eyes reflected into my eyes, I also knew this about myself. And, you know, at the time I was pregnant with my first child and, you know, I had just created this own baby book, not because I ever thought about doing a book or being an author, but because I'd watched The Secret and then I had a vision. And that's kind of how I've always been is like, I follow what spirit or what is meant to be, and I'm guided by the universe, by spirit. And then I do that. And so it wasn't like me, oh, I want to be a published author. I want to be a speaker. It was more like, oh, yeah, that's what I am. That's who I am. And, you know, thinking about Wayne Dwyer and the light that he shines back, it is about that human beingness, not necessarily doing, but being who you are, like your authentic self, which takes the ego out of it, right? Which I
Mhm.
can understand why he's your spiritual teacher and why you see him as this incredible leader, because he does embody that human being on the soul path purpose of his mission and who he is, right? He's just
Mhm.
authentic. And so is your mom.
Right.
And so are you. So that's
Mm.
beautiful. I love that answer. Yay. Oh, it got me so excited about the next question because the next question is a big one. Get prepared. You may have to breathe a lot on this one because if you could be the most incredible, powerful leader and create the future and the vision of leadership, what would that look like for you? Like if you could change the world with your version of leadership, what would that look like? It's a big question.
Would you be really surprised if my answer was like way, way simple?
Oh, no. I'm open to hearing anything.
I really do feel that it would be what I'm doing right now.
Aw.
It's I I love where I am right now. I love that we just had the green light from Washington State for Fifth Dimension Ascension Fellowship, in combination with the retreat center and um, like creating a sacred place, working with Native American Church here locally in Washington, to bring plant medicine, like a safe space for plant medicine. I mean, the amount of like support that's behind all of this, I mean, I wouldn't I wouldn't change one thing. It's just it is fully supported by God and the earth, and it really would be exactly what's happening right now. Like we're just, of course, I'm excited for the finished product. That's like the Leo inside of me, but I'm in the process of it, and I'm really focusing on enjoying as much as possible. And the fact that I have a daughter and I get to like show her like through the process and also create a space for children as well to connect to their most authentic self, to learn mindfulness and meditation and breath work and in yoga. Like, it's just, there is so much being birthed on this property and in these companies and this church. It's like with Find Your Balance Now, Fifth Dimension Ascension Fellowship, that's with like the retreat centers like transforming into. It's exactly perfect. And I just I couldn't want anything more than what it is right now. So I feel really grateful to say that and to trust in what's coming because of that. To be here with you and sharing this right now, this is exactly where I'm meant to be. And I am, just like whoever is listening to this, you, Schamet, we're exactly where we're supposed to be right now. And I just take that in with so much love and honor and trusting and how this is going to help people awaken to the most authentic version of them. We've been shifting like the highest version of themselves. I don't want to, when we say highest, I don't necessarily want that to make it seem like there is a lower self, it's your ego, right? But it's just the most authentic version of you is what we're awakening to. And to be able to be aligned with your soul and live from that space, there is so much love and so much purpose, so much healing that takes place. And so I don't know if there's anything more that I could want than to be guiding people on that journey.
Oh, I love that so much. I mean, that to me really is leadership, is leading our most authentic lives and our sole purpose and our mission on this planet. And yours is transformation, growth, being a light, being a lighthouse on the planet to help people and guide people. And I agree with you. It is 100% what you're meant to be doing. And I love that so much. What a great answer. And, you know, um, and it makes me just realize how excited I am about everything you're doing, the retreats and guiding transformational journeys. And is there any more pearls of wisdom that you'd like to share with us?
When I invited the leader of the Native American Church of Puyallup to the property, and he was just so excited about having ceremony on the property. He's been praying for a space to have ceremony, sweat lodge, plant medicine, and this is exactly what we are all about underneath the Dimension Ascension Fellowship. Really, the sacred plants of the earth, using them for our healing. Like, we absolutely can use them for our healing and our connection to our soul, just working through whatever we need to just feel like we're there all the time, right? And what he said to me, he was like, what's funny? Like, they talk about being children of God. What about children of the earth?
Mm,
And then he just left it at that. And I'm like, God, this man is so profound. Like, yes, like, absolutely. Like, I feel that's also the awakening of the feminine is Mother Earth, it's just, I'm getting chills. Like, it's not just God is the earth, like it's all one, right? But this manifestation of feminine energy, earth, feeling connected to her again. And we should not ever feel alone on this planet, because I mean, she's a living, breathing being that we literally have below our feet. And we spend so much energy up in the clouds when we have been born through the portal of love onto this planet to be, to be with the trees. I feel like this hippie child that's like, but it just really, like, this has been like my awakening. I remember when I connected with a shaman a couple years ago, and she was talking about like grounding and connecting with the earth. And I told her, it's like, if I'm being real, like, I don't know if I feel that connected to the earth. Like, what do you exactly mean by that? Like, how does that feel? And she was like, what? Like, what do you mean you don't feel connected to the earth? And so that needs healing for many people. Like, we all feel healing with nature, right? We feel this sense of peace. What I feel like connecting more with that is a necessity, and using the earth's medicine that she provides is a necessity. Like, we have it all here to assist us in any way that we need. So I feel like that's something that just really honestly needed to come through. So
Absolutely. 100%. I'm actually part Native American, and Awaken the Goddess Within, the last summit that you ran, that's really an important piece, is the reconnection to the divine feminine and to the earth. And yeah, I feel the same way, growing up in the becoming religious for a while, which I was, and going to church 3 times a week. It was all about the God out there. But then, like, we're on this planet. What about the forest, the nature, and the earth, and the oceans, and like being here now, grounded on this planet, not just out there in the universe? Both are important. But yeah, definitely grounding that energy. And I love that you're bringing the Native American ways into the retreat that you're doing. And like, the more that I hear about what you're doing, the more excited I get, and the more excited am about having my 2 oracle decks that I'm birthing there at your retreat center, Awaken the Oracle and Wounds to Wisdom, because they're guidebooks to, finding your authentic self, your soul purpose, your awakening journey. And yeah, I mean, just our energies are so aligned. Like, the more and more I get to know you, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for this planet and the magic that, brings us together like a soul family, awakening this authentic part of who we are. And you're quite right. It's not a higher than, as in being above. It's more the authenticity that is within us. And I've always had a bit of I don't know, a bit of a hard time with like the high priestess or the higher, thinking, well, I don't want it to be like higher and lower, like this kind of
right.
imbalance of power, because there's so much of that in the world. And I'm wondering, can we come up with something that's a little bit more aligned, maybe even alignment, than higher? I don't know. I used to sing in a choir called uh the highest, what did we call it again? We went into the prisons and sang about something higher. That's right. It was something higher, but it meant like the connection with your authentic self and your connection with love. So it's a
And
different
that's
way of looking at that word, but the word
right.
higher does sometimes imply that there's like this above, an
Right. And
imbalance of
that's
power.
right. Yeah. So that's where we came up with um authentic, is like where that like grounded middle is what we found to be where you are, because it's not out, it's here now, and you're stripping away the or healing and transforming these like lower aspects, the masks, the fears and all the emotions and just all the stuff that we carry on with us on this planet. That your authentic self is, that pure baby that you were. I mean, children are the most authentic, right? They'll let you know what they want when they want it. They'll cry when they want to cry, no matter what anyone says. They'll kick, they'll scream. And not that that's, it's just an example of just not having that programming of what you should be.
I love
It's
that.
just it's just being who they are. And I love my daughter so much for that. I'm like, I love that she can just be her most authentic form all the time. And it's just teaching me that I can be that too. you know, and it's okay. Like if she gets a kick and scream, like I get to be a little angry sometimes, you know, not that I like, you know, I'm not directing it at anyone, but just like I can have a moment where I'm just like in my anger. And as a recovering people pleaser, that's like so uncomfortable yet freeing at the same time that I can be this rawr mama bear, you know, and that's okay. It's not, you know, and her and I are able now to have these conversations that this is an example of I have to share this. This is an example of how this not enoughness programming starts. She was getting into something of mine. We put her on a timeout and like I was trying to talk to her about what was going on. And so we came to an agreement and then we went to bed and I'm holding her, right? And she was like, Mama, I don't want to be bad. And I was like, baby, I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, well, time out. I was like, wait, Aspen, like, because you went to timeout does not mean that you are bad. Like, you are loved. Like, I love you. It's just a learning time. It's just a time to learn and reflect on what happened so that we can do better next time. And she was like, oh, okay. So, like, that's just the seed. Like, if that conversation never happened, and now I ask her because we'll play with her babies and she'll put her babies on timeout sometimes. And then I'll act like, I'll play one of her babies, like, am I bad? And then she'll be like, no, you're just learning. Thank the effing Lord, you know, to not have a fear of making mistakes. Like, you can just be who you are, make mistakes, learn from them, move on.
Love
Wow.
that.
You
What a
know,
good example, huh? We're just here
oh
learning.
gosh.
All of us are.
We really are. And we need to give ourselves that grace. We need to give other people that grace and not hold them to like because that's how we were raised, perhaps, where you had to be the certain way all the time. And if you step out of that zone, like heaven forbid, you know, all in all, you guys, the and that's what fifth dimension ascension fellowship is really. It's the unifying truth like throughout the world, and also that, you know, it's not just God out there, it's God within you and God within the earth. 100%. I just love that.
Absolutely. Speaking of grace, my husband and I just celebrated our it was 21st anniversary, but we've been together 26 years. So since 1998, we've been together. And so we were out and we had this nice dinner, and there was this lovely couple next to us, and they were celebrating their anniversary too. Well, I heard the American accent and I was like, oh, are you from the States? She's like, yeah, I'm from California. So we get to talking, and they're, living in California, and they're doing this big trip around New Zealand for their 40th. And I was like, wow, 40 years. And she's like, yeah. And I said, oh, I'm only 21. She goes, oh, don't say only. That's quite a 21 years is a long time too. And I said, yeah, but it's not 40. She goes, yeah, well, you'll get there. I said, no rush. She goes, yeah. And so then I told her about my oracle cards that I was working on. And I said, what is your top 3 things, advice basically from making a marriage work? Because you obviously very much in love, because they were all lovey-dovey and kissing, and he gave her this beautiful bracelet, and it was just like, oh my goodness, how cute. Like, you guys are beautiful. What's your secret sauce? And she not only gave me 3, she gave me 40 because she had just written them, all the attributes down on the card that she gave her husband. And so she read them all out to me. She said, but the big one, the biggest one of all, was grace, being able to give each other grace for our mistakes, for our, because we mess up and we sometimes don't do it right, but can we hold grace for each other? And I was like, oh my goddess, I got to put grace in my deck. I can't believe I didn't put it in there. So I'm now including grace in there. And I'm so glad it hasn't gone to the printers yet so that I can sneak it in there. But I think grace sometimes gets misunderstood as being religious in context, but it is actually being able to do what you're talking about and give that authenticity and that space for learning and for growth and not being judgmental and being horrible to someone when they don't get it right, of actually giving that learning space, that grace. It's so important. So what a beautiful pearl of wisdom right at the end here before we sign off. Now, I understand. Yeah, isn't that beautiful? I was just like, oh, that was such a gift from the universe. Talk about right place at the right time and everything being aligned. And then we had another goddess on the right-hand side of us, and she had beautiful bright green hair and a beautiful green dress, and she was pregnant, and her husband looked like he just stepped out of Lord of the Rings. I was like, wow, this is great. This is such a good night. So beautiful. Happy anniversary. It was so good.
Mhm.
The whole
Oh,
night was magical, but to end it with grace was pretty special. That was really special. So I took her information and I'm going to send her a deck when they're finished. Yeah.
mm.
So I understand you've got a free gift for everyone. Can you tell us what it is?
Yes, we have an ebook, Three Secrets to a Balanced, Peaceful, and Fulfilling Life. I know, big promise, but there's three beautiful secrets in there with some tools, some techniques on how to do that in this new world that we're living in. Been a lot of changes, and you are changing. We're well, like the codes that are coming into this planet, man, I mean, it's evolving. And so what it truly means to find balance, I feel, is something that it's something that we all like try to find in one way, shape, or form. Our bodies also, it's a natural rhythm. Like our bodies are always working to find a homeostasis. And so we have we have an ebook that we'll be sharing as a
Great.
free
I'll
resource
make sure to
for
put
you.
that in the link below. So in
Yay.
the link below will be all the information on how to get in touch with Vanessa, work with Vanessa, attend her retreats, her workshops, her sound baths. She's got so many amazing things happening at her retreat center, more things to look forward to upon the horizon. And so watch this space of what Vanessa and her beautiful business partner are creating in Washington. I always say Oregon because my family's in Oregon, but it's like they're right next to each other, Washington and Oregon, so close by. Sending you all so much love. Thank you so much, Vanessa, for your pearls of wisdom. And that was just really beautiful and special. Thank you so much.
Thank you too, Schamet. Thank you.
And thank you for reminding us to breathe. It's such an
Yes.
important thing to just breathe and come into the
Breathe
space.
and be, baby. Yes. Thank you, Schamet, for this space. Thank you for all those listening. We'll take a deep breath together. Thank you.